obviously, you talked about that importance and really getting to those reductions. I believe from a previous conversation, Agmark reduced accidents by 67% and had zero at-fault accidents after installing the Omnicams, which I know is our auxiliary system. So talk about how you got there and really about the impact of these results from a business perspective. We talked sort of like the individuals and people side, but we're all businesses. So let's talk about that business impact.
Well, Ryan kind of highlighted their story with his numbers on claims. We had a very similar experience. We were having there's accidents and everybody wants to blame the trucker right off. And it's almost as if you're at fault unless you can explicitly, it's not, innocent proven guilty. It's the other way around when you're the trucker in an accident. And so we had several times where the drivers would say, no, I didn't do anything wrong. I watched them swerve, but we didn't have any video proof of it. The year before we installed the Omnicams, we had, I guess it was the 6 months before we installed the Omnicams, we had 8 accidents. 6 of them were sideswiped where we had 0 video on it. Because of that, we installed the side cameras. And since then, like you said, haven't had any claims against our drivers since then. The driver will get out of the car, get out of the cab, and the other driver will be standing there telling the cop something that our driver can refute immediately with instant video. And so it just changes the whole conversation. The other driver knows that there's no possibility there of an issue, of being able to file a claim, and we don't even get the claims presented against us because they don't take it to a lawyer just to kind of fish and see what they could get out of it. So it has helped us. And our, each one of those claims, I think had a slide over $300,000, that those mirror kind of our numbers. What we were seeing is an average in that range, and it, going to 0, that's a big deal.
I tell you,
insurance rates and everything else have come down because of it.
excellent. And you really are highlighting it quite a bit in that statement about not only the reductions of incident and accidents, but really the protection. It really comes down to the drivers are, feeling the peace of mind that they do have a level of protection. It's not a got you. I know both of you have spent a lot of time in the communication, and I've seen some of the messages coming through too about sort of pushback. It all really comes down to communication. When I started in this industry, we had 0 technology, 0 whatsoever. And when I was putting in a technology to help our drivers be better, and this was early 80s, in the early 80s, people pushed back. Oh, big brother. Oh, we're going to quit. Oh, we're going to leave. You know what the technology was? Cruise control. And look what we use in that today. Today, it's ingrained in our, everyday life. So it really comes down to the communication. Chris, you talked about, your safety score and how you referenced, what the reference and impact that would be, but also how you incentivize. I'd like you to go a little bit more into that if you could.
Sure. I mean, and this is it's an improving situation because we incentivize it. I love Ryan's incentive plans there. That's great. We're a little more, it's not quite as structured, but we do every time somebody gets to 100, we give them, something, whether it's a free lunch card or a Subway, gift card or another shirt, a t-shirt or something, a hat, we do that, but we find that the drivers it's almost competitive, and they're actually incentivizing because they see it there in the app, their safety score, they're actually able to see it. Our managers and lead drivers in each area can see each, all of the the drivers, and they can, they can say, hey, Eduardo over there, he's got 100, you've only got 98. What are you doing? That kind of stuff. So that incentivizing of it is great. It's interesting. I was rereading. We did a case study with Motive a year or two ago, I guess just about a year ago, and some of the scores in there are out of date. I mean, I was saying that our average at the time was 93 or 94, and right now we're 97, and we've been 96, 97, or 98 for the last 6 months. So it's as an average across the fleet. So we're a smaller fleet than Ryan. We've got about 50 drivers, but it's easy. The app, Motive app, makes it easy to incentivize this. I mean, it's really well thought out, and you can see you go to your dashboard, you click on safety, and right there you see your highest score, your lowest score. You see your fleet average. You can drill in by group, by region, however you want to do it. And the app makes it just really easy to put in place these kinds of things. And it's helped our safety team with the coaching. That immediate coaching, like Ryan said, doing it that same day is it just shows the results are immediate. You don't have that delay of oh yeah, last week we saw you had your cell phone. Well, no, I didn't. I don't ever use my cell phone, but hey, I saw you had your cell phone an hour ago. Oh, I guess I did. It's a whole different conversation you can have with the driver because of the immediacy of it, because we get a notification as soon as something like that happens, and that safety person responsible for that driver can reach out immediately depending on the severity of the incident. So yeah, we found it a lot very successful. And I know there was some talk about the pushback in the chat. We did have a little bit of pushback, but we found, like Ryan did, that the acceptance because of these things where they can prove that it's a safety tool that they can use to help keep their job. I mean, if we have an at fault claim, or if somebody were to get hurt because of something a driver did, they're going to lose their job. They're able to say, wait a second, it wasn't my fault, and prove it immediately. We don't have to we don't have to guess whether or not it was their fault. So
Well,
on that acceptance to be pretty high.